Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Trippy Commentaries. Thanks for joining us live here on a Saturday. We have a very special guest and a lot to get into during this live stream. I'm joined up with Tommy C from the BAITED podcast. What's going on, Tommy?
What's going on, man? What's happening? Thanks for having me on.
Great to talk with you, Tommy. I'm a fan of not only the BAITED podcast, but Shot from the Point, which is a pretty cool channel. You guys got to subscribe to that if you haven't already. Definitely check out the BAITED podcast. That's Tommy C. Join up with Colossal is Crazy and some other dude named Keemstar. But we're looking forward to the next episode, Tommy. Hopefully you guys come out with that soon.
I think we're talking about within the next 24, getting it all recorded up, and usually within the next 24 you're going to get it. So I think it's going to be sooner than later.
That is definitely going to be epic, guys. Watch out for that. But the reason why I wanted to bring Tommy onto the interview today, guys, is because there was a huge episode posted up by No Fuckers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with No Fuckers channel on YouTube. You know about No Fuckers, right, Tommy?
Absolutely, I had a conversation with him today, strangely enough.
I love No Fuckers. Definitely a big fan of his channel. I remember being a huge fan of FPS Russia back in the day, so it's kind of funny how No Fuckers reminds me of FPS Russia in some aspects.
The only difference is one guy is actually Russian, and the other one's I think a Call of Duty American.
That's true,
Call of Duty player is American.
FPS Russia is totally scam. Yeah, he's not even Russian. But when it comes to No Fuckers, he just put out this video bashing LispyJimmy, who's a popular GTA 5 YouTuber, GTA 6 YouTuber, I guess. And I think there's definitely some warrant there. You know, he definitely deserves to be bashed for some instances. But the one thing No Fucker says earlier on in that video is he says GTA 5 is completely dead. I cannot disagree more. I know you're a fan of GTA 5 as well. I've seen a couple live streams of you playing it on your channel, Shot from the Point. What do you think about GTA 5, Tommy? Do you think it's dead?
Do I think it's dead? I think it's coming to a close. I wouldn't go as far to say it's dead. I checked on Twitch. You know, you're still in the top 50. People are still interested, still watching it. I think maybe some of the, I don't want to, failure might be the wrong word, but I think the GTA Online, it didn't grow in, I guess, quite the way that I thought it would. There's some really great aspects of it. There's some very poor aspects of it. And I think the Rockstar is probably pretty close to putting. I get the feeling Heist is going to be the last big thing they put into it. I think it's coming to a close, but I don't think the community's dead by any means. Every great game has a cycle, a launch, sort of a zenith, and they plateau, and they generally degrade over time as other games come out. But to call the community dead is ridiculous, and it might not die, so to speak, completely until the next GTA comes out, which is supposedly just around the corner.
Exactly, man. I definitely agree with that. And I'm kind of with you to where GTA Online, for me personally, it didn't deliver the experience that I wanted 100%. It's still pretty fun. It's a time killer. There's a lot to do. But I am more of a fan of the single-player experience. So from my standpoint, I can see why certain people like No Fuckers would say GTA 5 is dead, but it's still huge. It's still played by a ton of people. To me, I think it's by far the best game out right now. You have all these other huge games like Call of Duty, No Man's Sky. People complain about those games on the reg. There's not too much to complain about when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 5. And I could see No Fuckers bashing LispyJimmy and maybe some other YouTubers, some GTA 5 YouTubers. But you cannot say it's dead. I just disagree with that completely. Did you see the LispyJimmy rant?
I think if I had to look at No Fucker's situation, it's he's kind of personally got emotionally invested in the controversy that was surrounding LispyJimmy with giveaways and like botting and things of that nature. And maybe we can give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe that's sort of more of an ad hominem attack. It was just like, oh, and by the way, your game sucks too. Maybe not really meaning it, but just to be hurtful for the sake of being hurtful. I do think that a lot of No Fuckers criticisms about LispyJimmy were legitimate. I think I absolutely think that he was, that he's being very vague or some of these. I don't know all the YouTube rules as far as giveaways are concerned. but I gotta say that it looked like what he was doing is pretty shady. I have no problem with those fuckers calling him out. If I had to, the way I saw this kind of envelop, I think it got personal. So when things get personal, sometimes it's shady shit you probably shouldn't, or or you don't maybe necessarily mean. That's the way I took it.
Yeah, and I definitely think that they had some sort of vendetta, or at least no fuckers had a vendetta for LispyJimmy, and a lot of it has to do with, like you said, they had the fake giveaway thing, and I think that part's warranted. It's kind of a funny joke for one or two videos, but I think no fuckers is right. And he didn't even play some audio that was a little bit more damning there when it comes to the fake giveaways. And Keemstar's kind of bashed this. And I agree with Keem's standpoint on that, to where the like button should be people telling you if you like the video or not. It should be a rating on the video, not something to do with a giveaway. So I understand where Keem and his kind of old school approach with that is coming from. I do agree with him there.
Well, there seems to be some controversy what the actual YouTube rules are. There seems to be some YouTubers saying that YouTube has recently changed the rules. Phil DeFranco, he's a pretty big YouTuber. I don't think he would put his channel in any undue risk or anything of that nature. I guess that some folks are saying that you can encourage people to like for a contest. I gotta be honest with you, I don't think anybody's really gotten to the bottom whether this is against YouTube rules or not. If it is against YouTube rules, well, then absolutely no fuckers and Keem are in the right to point this out. I'm very vague on it, but my personal feelings when it comes to contests and basically YouTube in general, as long as you're not breaking the rules and as long as you're actually giving out what you're saying you're giving out, I don't care that he's doing it. It makes absolutely no difference to me whatsoever. If that's his way to get subs, this is me personally. I'm not speaking for the BAITED podcast. I'm not speaking for Colossal or Keem. I don't care how you get them in, get people to watch your videos as long as it's within the rules. If it's against the rules, well then the argument's over.
Okay,
it's absolutely over. But
what about the standpoint, Tommy, that
he's having content doesn't bother me.
He's saying that he has a warehouse filled with 10,000 copies of GTA 6. Do you think that's like a reasonable joke, or is that taking it too far?
No, I think he's lying. I think he's lying. There's no joke. I think he wanted people to believe that, and that's a little different. That's not what I'm talking about. If he's giving away what he's saying he's giving away, then I have no problem with it. If he's lying to people and telling people to and he has no intention of either giving anything out or not giving out what he said he was going to give out, well, it's a totally different issue, and I think YouTube needs to take action. But I don't have a problem. I guess what I'm trying to get across is I don't have a problem with contests in general, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know if we should totally be involving the like button. I know that's something I've never done here at Trippy Commentaries. I've never told anybody, hey, like the button or hit the like button and I might give you a free copy of Grand Theft Auto or something. I just don't think that's what it's intended for, but people are going to try to take advantage of the system and find the loopholes however they can. And you mentioned Philip DeFranco. That's probably like one of my most respected YouTubers, and he's guilty of stuff like that. I wanted to talk about clickbait with you here in a few. Philip DeFranco, who might be like the best YouTuber out there, he's guilty as clickbait and all that stuff as other people. So that's why it's a little bit tough to be harsh on LispyJimmy for some of the same things that other people are clearly doing, including Philip DeFranco and PewDiePie. But when it comes to bashing,
I have a problem with this whole clickbait controversy. I think it's become just it's sort of like just an attack or a name calling. All right, what is your job as a YouTuber? Your job as a YouTuber is to get people to watch your videos. So essentially anything you type, if you want to encourage them to watch your videos, would be, and it's a successful title, it's a title that people are attracted to, could be potentially considered clickbait. Now, I think what gets confused sometimes, there's a real difference between clickbait, which I don't think there's anything wrong with, and misleading headlines. If your title is in all caps, right, and it's GTA, and we're having a really badass stream, or whatever you figured out is going to get people into your stream, onto your video, and you're doing it in all caps or whatever, like Levy does, and that gets, and you are selling what is in the headline. Mm-hmm. Well, that's your goddamn job as a YouTuber, and I'm a little sick and tired of YouTubers going on, well, that's just clickbaiting. It's the idea, if you're doing this for a living, is to get people to click on it. And then what always goes, well, what happens when, there's a hot chick on the cover, and you go in there, and it says one thing, and then you go in there and some kid playing CSGO. well, that's misleading. That's not clickbait. So I don't care how YouTubers get them in there. Again, and it goes the same thing with LispyJimmy, as long as they're playing by the rules and the laws. I don't care. I think it's your job as a YouTuber to get people in there. And I think this is just clickbait is a word that is just kind of thrown around to insult content, in a lot of cases, content creators that other YouTubers don't like. I personally don't care if you make a really good title to get people in there, as long as what's in that title is what, like, I want to be able to, I want to get what I'm expected, what's in the title. And otherwise, like, you know, I really don't have a problem with clickbaity thumbnails or titles. It's just not I don't care. That's the job. Get them in there.
I agree with you, man, and that's kind of what I want to talk about when it comes to LispyJimmy, because yeah, he's using clickbaits, but I actually do think his commentary can be good sometimes. Yeah, is he baiting you onto clicking on the video? Yeah, he got your click. Good for him. But after that point, you still have to, you know, be able to talk properly and have legitimate topics to talk about. So I do think, as far as that's concerned, you know, that's just like you said, man. That's so overblown. I mean, come on. Yeah, you click on the video.
Ridiculous.
If you don't,
you want people to watch your videos? Really? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you're trying to get extra.
What are you in this for, dude? You know?
You're trying to get extra views. How dare you?
Videos. I want people to watch my videos, and I'm going to dress them up as pretty as possible. I mean, you're trying to get the views, so you're going to dress it up. As long as it's what it says it is, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, and like you said, man, Philip DeFranco, probably the #1 clickbaiter. Leafy is here, another massive, massive clickbaiter, and we're talking about the biggest YouTubers out there. So it's interesting how you have all these people attacking for clickbait. I mean, you could say, no fuckers, by putting LispyJimmy in his title is clickbait.
Which is bizarre to me. No, if you're not clickbaiting, you're not doing your job. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, and
you know, if you're being misleading, that's an entirely different situation.
Keemstar could be considered clickbaiting with Drama Alert simply by putting the PewDiePie and people's names in their title. That's just as much clickbaiting as GTA 6 giveaway. I don't know why people would think it's any different. I mean, I understand it's all substantial. You know, people are going to have their own opinion.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's just one of the big things. It seems like, you know, people are saying all this stuff is cancerous. One of the big cancerous things is people just calling each other out for clickbait, because there's so much hypocrisy when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And really, people just need to overlook the whole clickbait aspect. It's about the video. That's the most important thing, not the thumb tag, not the title. It's the clickbait. And I just wanted to defend Lispy for that.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of LispyJimmy at all. I'm a much bigger fan of No Fuckers. But it seems like LispyJimmy ain't playing by the rules, so I think that's a little different situation. But it's like you said, everybody's, you know, like, oh, you're just clickbaiting. You just want people to see your video, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm a YouTuber, so I think a lot of times the word clickbait is thrown out to sort of silence or discredit somebody they're arguing with, and they're not even arguing over clickbait half the time. They're arguing over misleading headlines.
But that was No Fucker's #1 topic that he threw out there against Lispy, was the clickbaiting. So I don't know if that was the best thing to start with.
I don't know. Like calling somebody clickbaiting, to me, is just like calling them like, that's another one. You're just a fame whore. I'm trying to get famous.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm trying to do. So in one sense, you're right. It's the other sense, should I be ashamed about? That's the weird thing, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely see once again why No Fuckers attacked LispyJimmy, and LispyJimmy had it coming. I'm kind of glad it happened in many aspects, but at the same time, saying that GTA 5 is dead, that was dead wrong. I mean, GTA 5 is the number 8 selling game right now worldwide, and that's only for the PS4. It's not even including Xbox One.
But by the time it does die, we'll have 6 anyway, and we'll go on from there. And you know, the Grand Theft Auto series just seem to be getting better. They don't take steps back; they take giant leaps forwards. They change the gaming industry. I really wouldn't worry about it. I think the Grand Theft Auto community is thriving. I think the biggest worry you have is not anything that No Fucker says. It's just your fan base getting older and not interested in it. That's probably the most dangerous thing. That's the enemy of Grand Theft Auto, is people just not wanting to play a game like that anymore, and I just don't see that happening in the future. I don't see it happening for the next decade. I think it's going to be a very strong title for years to come.
I really think it will. I think Grand Theft Auto is by far the best game. Still to this day, how many games have come out that suck? You know, you expect No Man's Sky to come out and be great. They straight up lied on many of the features that were supposed to be in the game. You had games like Call of Duty completely on the decline. People are desperate for Battlefield 1 to be good. Star Wars Battlefront, people were hoping would be good. It was disappointing. Fallout 4, even Bethesda fell off on their last game. And I feel like still to this day, Grand Theft Auto I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is the best game. I'm disappointed in some things about it.
I think you're right. I think there's been a lot of disappointing titles since, 3 years now. 2013 was the first release, or 14. I think you're onto something. The gaming industry isn't really producing it consistently, like Grand Theft Auto like titles. And when I say that, I don't mean like games like Grand Theft Auto. I mean like really successful game-changing games that change the landscape of the industry. And I got a little theory on why I think that's the case, because within the last 2 years, I had an interview with Crytek, which is, of course, the makers of Far Cry, because I live in Germany, and I tried to get a job there. And they told me something very interesting, that there's sort of this attitude now that we don't have to make a complete game because the games are so large, and we just need to make our dates in time and get it out as soon as possible, and we'll fix things on the fly. We'll do it with patches because of the internet. And this employee thought, if I understood him correctly, that he thought that in some ways that was hurting the game industry, because you're not putting out full products. You're putting out products that are half finished, and hoping that microtransactions and things like that will carry the day, and you're going to make money on it. But there's almost less emphasis on making a good game, because you're going to make more money on microtransactions than you are on game sales anyway. So, and I think it's like
good point.
Gamers themselves have themselves to blame, because they keep buying this shit, and it's like the game's not really complete. We didn't get everything we wanted done with it. That's okay. We just made $10 million in microtransactions. So, like, we don't have to. Let's go on and let's make a new game.
Yeah, unfortunately, they probably learned that from Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, I'm wondering
I think
when it'll pick
you're
up.
not getting a full product, like when I was a kid in the old days, back in the Atari 2600 days, and you look at these games, they're ridiculously simple. They could be done with shock, but in those days, these games could take a couple weeks, couple months. But at least when you had a Nintendo, you had an Atari or a Coleco or something like that, you had a complete game. And you have what I just mentioned, and these early access alphas, which I think a lot of these, they should be charged for fraud in a lot of these cases. You have these things, and you're getting you're paying full price for half the product. And I think we're going to, unless something changes, we're probably going to be seeing that a lot more in the future.
I hope you're right. That's what I'm hearing from a lot of people. Hopefully that's not right, but I'm with you, man. That's one of the reasons why I want to kind of defend Grand Theft Auto, because there's so many other games that are really letting us down. So that's disappointing.
Yeah. I think it's one of the reasons. I think if you had a couple good, stronger titles, that no fuckers would actually have been right.
Exactly.
That it would have died. But I just picked it up 2 weeks ago. I hadn't played it in over almost 2 years. Because I just got a next gen console, and looked pretty active to me.
Oh hell yeah!
Servers are pretty full to me. There was no shortage of game, stuff I could do.
They're still adding new content every month.
You're a Grand Theft Auto guy. Here's what I don't understand, and I'm not mad at Grand Theft Auto players. I don't think the thing's dead, but I'm mad at some aspect. Why the fuck can't I steal your car? And why the hell do I got to pay your insurance if I blow it up? It's Grand Theft fucking Auto. I'm supposed to be doing rotten shit. Now I got to pay your insurance bill for doing rotten shit? That's ridiculous. It's the stupidest thing ever. I should be able to steal your car and put it in my goddamn garage, and if I kill you in it, blow you up or otherwise, why should I be paying anything? That's ridiculous. Yeah. I want to ask the Grand Theft Auto expert like yourself, why is it that way?
Well, that's one of the big issues with GTA Online. Unfortunately, I'm a Grand Theft Auto fan. I've been playing it since day one, but that is all single player. I feel like they kind of fucked that up in online. You're right. They shouldn't have it to where you have to do little tedious insurance payments and stuff like that. In fact, I feel like
it's so ridiculous. If the car's already insured, If the car's already insured, let the other guy fucking pay for it. It doesn't have to be even a lot of money.
Exactly.
He's the one that got the car blown. He's the one that got killed. He's the one that got blown up. I don't understand why there's a punishment for doing what you're supposed to do in that game and kill the opponent. It's just completely ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's the only game like it on the planet. It really ruins the experience for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't play Grand Theft Auto Online much because of it.
Blown up car, considering it's not a real car, and all you have to do is call the insurance company and get another car back. I don't get that. It makes it less fun for me. And I should be able to steal your car and put it in my goddamn garage. That doesn't mean you lose it. That just means it's stolen. You know, I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of went away from the core gameplay. Now all of a sudden it's more of a free roam thing. Grand Theft Auto was never a thing where you walk around and get attacked by random terrorists and other people. I think it should be more of a team up and rob banks, which they do have it. But if you're just going to play GTA Online casually, then you're going to get frustrated because people are going to blow you up for no reason and all that. But
I just like the idea of the open world of Los Santos, and I think that's where they let us down. They had this stupid rule, and there's not much to do besides PvP in there. I think that's where they kind of dropped the ball. But I have hope for the next game. I think the online's going to be better because the online was a huge jump from where they were in Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah.
Which I thought was total garbage. Grand Theft Auto 4 online was just trash. But they made some steps forward. So I hope there's something in the open world aspect of Grand Theft Auto 6 that's really unique and really interesting because it's a lot of fun, that game. There's no doubt about it.
I do really like the racing aspects, so that's one thing that GTA, of course, brings to the table. Did you ever get a chance to play Red Dead Redemption?
A little bit for PlayStation 3. I never completed the story mode.
It's a pretty good game, man. The online functions kind of like GTA, where, instead you're just a cowboy riding around on horseback, so that's something that I think they could kind of take a cue from with GTA 6 when that eventually comes. But the other topic I wanted to get to when it comes to GTA 5, the other thing that No Fucker said, was he said that the GTA 5 YouTube community was cancerous. He said that the entire GTA community was cancerous, and that's another thing he said that I kind of took exception to.
It's just like, I wouldn't take this stuff too seriously. I think it's just, they're cancerous. What isn't cancerous? Everything you don't like is cancerous. Like, when I was a kid, we used to say, like, all right, GTA sucks. And that's the end of it. And this word cancer that we throw around, so sort of like when I was a kid, also, if you didn't throw that word around lightly.
No way.
It's just like it's the new this sucks. Your game sucks. I really don't think there's any evidence to that. I don't think I think it's just he doesn't like GTA. And he's typical of a lot of other YouTubers, and it's not enough not just to dislike something. It's not like it's a problem for YouTube, and this is where I don't get on board with No Fuckers. It's not just something you don't like. You don't like LispyJimmy because he's a bit of a fucking fraud. It's deeper than that. There's a problem with YouTube. The website is being ruined, and that's where guys like No Fuckers and these make YouTube great again guys lose me. It's just that's ridiculous. To call it cancerous. It's no cancerous or more cancerous or more sucky or less sucky than any other friggin' video game. I don't. It's just I don't know. That word is just thrown around way too much, and when I hear somebody say it, I just think they're saying that sucks. But I think they're implying that this cancer needs to be stopped. It's a fucking video game community. There's not much more to it than that.
Yeah. Once again, I mean. Man, you don't want to just be a hater on something. I mean, come on. That's what I kind of got out of that.
That's what I think. I think he's just hating, and I think it has more to do with LispyJimmy than it does about the game. I think it has a lot more to do with LispyJimmy and wanting to hurt his feelings. And I don't know. Like, look, No Fucker says controversial things to stir the pot, and he calls people out, and he is a bit part of YouTube drama and things of that nature. This is what he does, and I wouldn't take it terribly seriously.
Which I don't, because I am a fan of No Fuckers, but I just don't want, you can't say a whole game community is cancerous.
Pretty good community. Have I met assholes playing GTA? Yeah, sure.
Hell yeah.
Other GTA streamers that have done shady stuff in the past? Sure. But, I mean, come on. Like, he's going to tell me a guy playing H1... There's assholes in the H1Z1 community. There's there's assholes in every community. So I'm not going to sit there and jump on. Oh well, but GTA is particularly bad. No, it's not. It's not true.
Once again, man,
like it. That's all.
Thanks for joining up for the live stream, guys. Hopefully you guys are having a pretty good weekend. We are chilling. We actually are joined up by a very special guest with Tommy C here from the BAITED podcast. I'm sure you guys know BAITED. Definitely subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, as well as Shot from the Point, which is Tommy's personal channel. So make sure to subscribe to those. Of course, the BAITED podcast has Tommy C, Colossal is Crazy, and DJ Keemstar. So you guys should probably check that out. I'm sure a new episode will be up very soon. But, GTA 5, certainly not cancerous. And I'm glad that you agree with that, Tommy.
No worse or better than anybody else.
Hell
no. I mean, come on. Let's be realistic here. And I'm not saying this with disrespect to no fuckers, and he's certainly... I like a lot of what he does. I think he's an intellectually honest guy. But I don't know. It's not even just him. This word cancerous is thrown around. It's just like I don't really take it terribly seriously anymore.
Well, because you were mentioning they were trying to make YouTube great again. I mean, think about YouTube's pretty good now. I understand, maybe it's slacking in some instances, but you came from an era where you had fake pranks and troll videos, so you really can't say make it great again. I feel like there's always room for it to expand and get better.
I'm one of those. I'm weird, like because I'm on this show, the BAITED podcast, and it's essentially a critique of YouTube and YouTubers, which I'm very. But this is the weird part. I like that there's dark areas of YouTube. I like that there's shady stuff going on. I don't know how much I care. Like I don't care that somebody's breaking the rules. And like I don't get all in a huff about it. If they get caught, well, that's fucking on them. If they get caught and somebody calls them out, I like the fact that it's a little dark. If they get caught, that's great. That's fine. I like LispyJimmy. He got nailed, so fuck him. He broke the rules, whatever. But I like the fact that it's a Wild West, and I don't like this sort of effort to control it. By saying this is cancerous, this is not good for YouTube, and that's cancerous, and that's not good for YouTube, and we have to save the website, otherwise it's going to become cancerous. And like, oh god, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Give me a break. I like the fact that it's a little Wild Westy, and I think the more, you guys are bitching about making YouTube great again. I think the more under control it gets, and the more you get your way, it's going to be like, you're gonna remember the old days when you could do whatever the fuck you wanted, and nobody really got involved. That they're like, oh, weren't they great? Before, I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that, and I had to pay Rockstar 5 cents every time I did a stream if it ever gets to that point or some stupid shit.
Yeah.
I think a lot of you guys are thinking YouTube's cancerous. They're going to be wishing it was like in 2016 by 2018 if you keep this shit up.
That could be true too, man. Because I'm a little bit worried about they're throwing around the whole cyberbullying word these days.
Yeah.
And I don't know, have you seen that recent video? It's pretty hilarious by that kid who made the Pokemon Go song, where he straight up he called out Leafy. I think he called out Keen.
I have a rule against going after kids. I don't.
Does he? I wonder how old that guy is.
I guess he's about 10 or 11. I saw the video, and I'd be just a lying sack if I didn't.
It's pretty funny.
I laughed my ass off it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny as hell. I don't understand why YouTubers feel like especially guys that are big, feel like they have to look, I laughed at it. Does that make me a bully? No, I don't think it does. But I don't understand why these guys are, just because I like the fact that YouTube's a little gray sometimes, and some guys, it doesn't mean I have to fucking tolerate it. It doesn't mean I can't call it out. It doesn't necessarily mean I want your channel deleted, like a lot of guys are.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why an adult male would make a video about that kid. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's cringy. But why would you? I don't know. Just take advantage of the situation. That I find disgusting.
You're gonna see people make videos about that video.
It's just crappy. I never really say shit about Justin Sartorius because he's a kid and he's been forced into this stupid entertainment life. I think that's crappy and it's garbage and it's cheap laugh. And it may be cyberbullying, but I got to be honest with you, the cyberbullying thing is just thrown around in a sense just to again, silence people. You're a cyberbully. You know, Akeem got accused of bullying that, like that kid cut a video calling Keemstar and Leafy and a few other guys cancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The kid, the Czech kid, Misha. Keem didn't have a fucking thing to do with it. He didn't even, he was like one of the only guys on the list that didn't actually cut any kind of video about that.
That's
and it's
true.
just funny to watch Keem get kind of titled.
That's not the first time we've seen
again
that.
For something he had nothing to do with.
Well, he got that was the same thing with the Tommy NC10 situation
yeah,
too.
and he had nothing to do with that as well the first time around. The second time around, he did.
Yeah, he did.
The second Tommy NC thing, he did. And that's how we went, and we went to war over that. But it is, it's funny, Leafy makes a video, PewDiePie makes a video about the kid, which I haven't seen, in fairness, and Keem's the bad guy. That I don't get that, I'm going to be honest with you. But I will say this, I support anybody to say that, some of these kids got to be off limits, but I think we got to get the word out to parents. You probably can't upload videos of your kid on YouTube anymore.
That's what I was thinking. Obviously, the parents wrote out the song. They pinned out Keemstar, Pyrocynical, Leafy, and Rice Gum. And I'm sure those guys are going to attack him right back, which is exactly what they want, though, at the same time. That's just going to get him more views, and he's going to blow up and probably be a viral sensation.
I suppose, but I get the feeling with this, because remember, this is a Czech family, and I don't think they understand the English culture side of YouTube, and I think they were just making a video for other children, and they didn't expect this to happen. I think they probably expected 50 views from their family and friends. Look, our son's on TV, and what they got was a group of disgusting fucking shut-in teenagers, and just really just the worst kind of kids on the planet.
So you're talking about the Pokemon Go song though there, right?
That's what they got.
Yeah.
But there's an upside to it. He's got a YouTube play button. I don't. But, I think that, I laughed at the video, but I'm not going to make a video about it. I'm going to mention it in a live stream because I do talk shows. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand, why people think it's cool to go after these kids. Legally, do they have a right to criticize their video? Yes. Do I think that Leafy should have his video taken down because he made fun of this kid or anybody else? No, I don't. Not even Rice Gum, who I think is disgusting as well. But I think the community needs to sort of point out this is trash. This is garbage. I don't think you should lose your channel. Look, if you put yourself out there, it's on you. But that doesn't mean I can't come out and say you're picking on this kid. I may not believe that you should. I think you have a right to pick on the kid in a sense, unless YouTube shuts it down, of course. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see people lose their YouTube channel. But at the same time, it doesn't make you any less of a piece of shit to pick on a friggin', 11-year-old boy.
Well, Tommy, I know you're a huge hockey fan, bro. What about, do you ever pay attention to football at all?
No, I don't. I'm a one-sport guy. I'm one of those weird guys, sports guy. And not only that, my grandparents knew George Young, and I used to go to Giants practices when I was a kid, and it just never did anything for me. I met Bill Sims and Joe Morris and all these legendary New York Giants, and it just never did anything for me. I don't know anything about football, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, the reason why I bring that up, Tommy, is because there was a situation with the Miami Dolphins where they got into a lot of shit because of bullying. There was literally these offensive linemen who are massive human beings. They got in huge amount of trouble for bullying each other. You have, 400-pound guys bullying each other, and there was some terrible backlash from that from the NFL. So as a member of the YouTube community, I'm a little bit worried that we could eventually have some backlash about bullying here. I mean, and it's mostly like what you said. It could be against the kids.
Bullying? What's bullying? Nobody really defines bullying. Everybody's just accusing. It's like accusing. It's like saying cancer is over and over.
Well, it could be adults going against the kids, Tommy.
Bullying? Is bull busting? When I grew up, in New Jersey, it was called busting balls. Now it's bullying. Now there's it's some kind of fucking problem. And if we don't solve this, these kids will just commit mass suicide. They're in I don't know what that shit that happened in the 70s. They all drank Kool-Aid. I can't even remember it.
Yeah, drinking the Kool-Aid.
They're in Jonestown or something like that. What constitutes bullying? All right, no bullying on YouTube. Okay, who's going to be against that? Not me.
Well,
but what is it?
If a national
is it criticizing Justin or what's his face?
Bieber?
I don't know.
Sartorius?
Sartorius or Pistorius, whatever it is. Is that bullying, really?
Well, if he's a youth...
I had New Kids on the Block when I was a kid. I couldn't stand Donnie Wahlberg. I thought he's a real prick, and I hated that band. But, I mean, like, now, just complaining about it, making a video about it, expressing yourself that you don't like it is bullying? Like, come on. That's ridiculous.
Okay, well, what if you have a news source...
Is it bullying for me to do it because I'm an older man? Or is it okay for a 13... I don't get this shit. I think it's just a weapon. It's just a weapon to throw at somebody. Like, cancerous, you know?
Okay, well, look at this, Tommy. Look at this. If you have, like a national news station, something like that, and they report on the fact that YouTube channel A, whoever you want to say it is, attacks this other guy who is clearly a minor, all of a sudden, that's going to bring some pretty bad publicity to YouTube. Now, all of a sudden, people are going to be like, what? There's people attacking kids on YouTube? And that's something that hasn't really been reported.
Yeah.
That could be an issue.
Well, I don't know. Like, I'm so vague on this because, like, I don't think kids should be attacked on YouTube. But, like, I don't. But, like, if that's the case, like, make it a clear-cut rule. Don't just say something like, well, no bullying. Mm-hmm. Well, what does that mean? Yeah. I don't want kids getting attacked on road. I think what happened to this poor kid is disgusting in the Czech Republic. But, YouTube's, like, deliberately vague, like a lot of other social medias, about their rules, so they can just kind of drop the hammer whenever they feel like it, and not be really held accountable for their own, terms of service. Yeah. What does bullying mean? Tell me.
If it's against the minors...
Well, no, define it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything I do could be considered bullying.
I don't think an adult can be bullied by another adult.
I grew up listening to Howard Stern, and a lot. He's very influential on the work that I do on the Shot from the Point channel. Like that's bullying.
Exactly.
I don't know. It seems like to me I'm running a comedy show.
Yeah. And then you look at all the comedians out there. I mean, you can pretty much call every single one of them a bully if that's the case, and that's why exactly. That isn't bullying. That's cyberbullying. Yeah, that's being a comedian, but it's all about who you go after, really. And I'm sure.
Yeah, I guess I think that's the problem. It's who you go after, not how you go after them, or it's just it's subjective. Like, you have sort of subjective rules, and I think it's a lot of crap. I think take the situation like Milo Yiannopoulos. He's criticizing one of the female Ghostbusters, and he got removed or deleted because of targeted harassment. There's a reporter or critic that told an actress she sucked. That's targeted harassment? What does that mean? No, it's just so Jack Dorsey can kind of put his foot down and clip people that he doesn't personally like. Nobody really cares if people are going around bullying. They carry who you are bullying. It depends on who you are. It's not the bullying they have the problem with. It's who you happen to be bullying. Take Leafy's situation. Leafy bullies people every day, so to speak. He hits one social justice warrior, a transgender, and makes fun of her or him or whatever. And now then he gets a strike. But all the other ones were okay, but not the social justice warrior. So it's you're right. It's who you bully.
Yeah.
It's not how, it's who.
And then going back to no fuckers, that's pretty much your content. If you want to make your content going after other YouTubers, are you bullying? Because even if they have it coming, that is your content. If you want to say something like the Grand Theft Auto community is cancerous, well, is going after other YouTubers cancerous? I mean, I guess that's another question.
I guess you could say that. I mean, no fuckers content seems to be about what YouTube's about, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if he would ever to say that I don't want to be YouTube's getting too drama-like, I mean, I'd throw up. Because that's what he does. I don't think there's anything wrong with what No Fuckers does. Nothing.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm a huge fan of him. The only thing
No Fuckers is a drama channel.
Yeah, I just have to come to the defense of the GTA 5 community. As he said, the entire community was cancerous. If you're a GTA 5 YouTuber, something must not be right. So that was a stupid comment.
You really hung up on that. That really bothered you, huh?
Well, I feel like, and bringing you in, it's something that I think is right up your alley. It's something that probably should be talked about on the BAITED podcast. Not so much going against GTA 5 in general, but I just feel like, there was some...
We're not going to stick up for
clickbait.
GTA 5. I may stick up for it. We're not going to stick up for GTA 5. I think most of the conversation is going to be about LispyJimmy and whether he's done something right or wrong. And I think it's pretty clear that LispyJimmy's on the losing end of this conversation because I can't imagine being more colossal sticking up for him.
So do you think the entire GTA 5 community here on YouTube is? I mean, I don't want to say cancerous because I know that's not really where you stand, but it's not even negative.
I think he's just name calling. I think I think it's an empty statement.
Yeah.
They're no more cancerous or less cancerous. They don't suck any more, any less than any other group. Video game group like communities can be kind of rough and mean. I don't think GTA 5 is any worse. I think he's just. I think he was mad at LispyJimmy and he just decided to throw a little more fuel in the fire. That's all.
Yeah, we'll see if anything.
He don't like GTA. Well, fine. He doesn't like GTA. What are we gonna do?
Exactly. What are you gonna go watch a Minecraft instead? I mean, come on, get out of here with that. Oh yeah, GTA is so much worse than Call of Duty or CS:GO surfing. I mean, it's all the same, really. So.
Yeah, I don't know what community. I've never played CS:GO surfing. I'm kind of interested in that. Leafy was doing that for a while.
It does look pretty trippy. But
is it really? Does it take a lot of skill?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it has a little bit of a learning curve. It's a game in itself. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it looked kind of interesting because it looked hard. It looked like a really hard game.
It is.
Right now I'm into Rocket League. That's my bag.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about games pretty much sucking nowadays. All these people dropping terrible games. What the hell is freaking No Man's Sky? Come on, failure there. I think Rocket League might be one of the better.
I know everybody No Man's Sky. No man likes that game. I don't know anything about that. I didn't know. What's the problem?
Minecraft.
What's the game about? You tell me. What's the game about, and why does everybody hate it? Because they were so excited for it just 2 weeks ago.
It's Minecraft in space, and the reason why they hate it, Tommy, is because this guy, the founder of I forget the developer of the company. I don't have it off the top of my head, but basically he went on to tons and tons of interviews, including the Stephen Colbert show. We're talking about national television here, saying things that were not in the game. Literally, they said the game was a multiplayer game. The day before the game dropped, they changed. It's not a multiplayer game. They changed it, so they were hyping it up as a multiplayer game, only to tell you a day before you got the game that sorry, it's actually not multiplayer. And there was a little logo on the box that said multiplayer. All they did was they just put a sticker over it. So if you had the box, you can pull the sticker up and still see the multiplayer, which is not in the game in the slightest.
You just ride around in a spaceship and what's the incentive? What's the big deal?
Now, I don't have a PlayStation 4, so I haven't played the game myself, but it's Minecraft in space. You're floating around. I mean, it looks cool and all. I mean, it definitely looks like fun, but it's just not. It's probably not worth $60.
No man likes No Man's Sky. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, No Man. Well, what about the women? No Man.
So
No Women's
that doesn't
Sky.
look like a game I'd be interested in anyway. I'm only interested in. I'm really only interested in games that are I'm not I don't watch MLG. I don't MLG events, but I'm only interested in games that would be on an MLG event. You know what I mean? Or sports games. I like competitive games. It's actually. I mean, I like GTA. Don't get me wrong, but I tend to gravitate towards games that are multiplayer and team based. Like hockey, like Rocket League, like sports games. Old arcade games, so stuff that could be played in a competitive environment potentially. Those are the things that interest me the most. GTA is one of the few games that isn't like that. That's the one that interests me. I don't even like H1Z1, which is a game I like a lot. One of the things that keeps me going back to it is the battle royale competitive aspect of it. And the Just Survive is just something to do on the side. I like competitive games. I don't like games with stories. If I want a story, I'll just go read a book. I like games with a skill involved. There's nothing wrong with playing story games or getting enthralled into a video game story. It's just not for me. It's just not my bag. I'm kind of like a dude bro jock when it comes to fucking video games. Yeah. I don't want to get lost. I don't want a story. I want to beat my opponent. at whatever we're happen to be doing.
Yeah, man, it's just sometimes though you just want to sit down and chill and not get frustrated. But yeah, I see where you're coming from.
That's true. But I'm just saying in general, like Grand Theft Auto is a great game, and that's one of the few games that I could just sit down and chill. But see, I don't know if you saw one of my Grand Theft Auto streams. I kept yelling at this kid because I want to, like, when I do a heist or a raid, I want that executed perfectly.
Yeah.
I don't want to blow up. I want to go in there like I want to. If anything, I want to pretend that I'm some kind of like criminal badass. And I want to make it look cool. I want to go in there and just do like do the heist correctly or do the I'm not really into the racing aspect of it. I like the gangster aspect of it. Yeah. So, if I'm going to do that, I want to go in there and make the most money possible. That's what's cool to me. Like, that's where the challenge is from. For when it comes to Grand Theft Auto.
That's one of the main reasons why I haven't been playing a ton of GTA Online, because teaming up with all these other guys, it's sometimes can be a bit of a
I like teaming up. That's the thing. I like either like I'm going against somebody or I'm cooperating with somebody. And this doesn't have to be with GTA. It could be with anything to achieve an objective.
Yeah. But you're sitting there playing the game, robbing the bank. Everything's going good until you got your guy who's in charge of watching the front door decides to not watch it and fucks up everything. That's what pisses you off.
Yeah. It's like I'll start yelling at the guy because I'm competitive. I want to beat the machine, or I want to. That's an old term that they don't use in video games anymore. It used to be like in the old arcade days.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wanted to break the machine. That's an old video game term.
Pinball
for back in the 80s. Like you wanted to take the high score and then or get to a point where the score couldn't be counted anymore and it flipped back to zero. Wanted to break the machine. They don't say that anymore. I have an 80s mentality when it comes to video games still. I want to break the machine. I'm not really good at it, but that's what I want to do. That's like my objective.
Yeah, I'm totally with you there. I mean, I come from the the old school Gen 2, I guess, as far as like original Nintendo and stuff, and that's why I just want to see some A+ games come out again. I'm a little bit pissed that a lot of these games have been failing as of late, and that's why I wanted to defend Grand Theft Auto. Definitely nice to bring in Tommy C. But make sure, definitely stay tuned. I definitely want to bring Tommy back on. I have a couple other things I wanted to talk to you about here in the future. But also, guys, subscribe. I was going to say, subscribe to not only the Shot from the Point channel here on YouTube. I'll have links in the descriptions for you guys. But also the BAITED podcast with Tommy, Colossal is Crazy, and Keemstar. That is a crazy-ass podcast. It's really a cool dynamic how these guys are not all buddies. It's real stuff out there. They're not tactically doing everything. You could possibly see them come to fisticuffs.
We barely speak to each other during the week. We had our first buddy sort of get together today, where we just sort of shot the shit and we were friends.
Nice.
It happened for the first time today.
Listen to some Drake music, ate some food, that kind of thing. Kumbaya.
No, we argued with each other, but that was as close. But if it was as close as to, I think, as buddy as we can get. We're talking about three people that are very, very competitive about talking. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the dynamics. But we were friendly and cordial to each other today, and we weren't always competitive. We were like he was telling me funny stories when he was a kid, and I don't know if you know this, but the Comedy Shorts Gamer called me on a live episode of one of my shows.
Really?
Right? And I completely fanboyed out. Right?
Did you really?
And I'm going to tell about this story a little more on Sunday, 3 p.m. Sunday Eastern Standard Time. That's where I do my next live show, mm-hmm. And I'm going to talk about it a little more. But Keem yelled at me for fanboying out, and he says I have to start acting like more of a star, even though I'm not, because he was embarrassed.
That's funny, man. I can see you fanboying over KSI. I don't know about Comedy Shorts.
I'll tell the whole story tomorrow, so that's a little plug for me on Shot from the Point Live at 3 p.m. Sunday on my channel. And Keemstar yelled at me and said I fanboyed and embarrassed him and made him cringe.
Oh,
that was the conversation. That's a friendly conversation between the BAITED podcast group.
That's why the podcast is so legit. You definitely are very, very real on the show. But make sure to show Tommy plenty of love, guys, and definitely check out the BAITED podcast as well. Thank you so much for joining, Tommy, man. It was great talking with you. Covered a ton of
Love to do it
subjects.
again. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. You have a really nice channel, nice large channel. I appreciate it, and I hope some of the folks want to check out what I'm doing on the talk shows that we do. And it's not just hockey. We do YouTube drama. We're open with the fact that we do drama. We don't accuse people. If you're just trying to make drama, we're trying to make drama, chopping the point. And we also have a 4-day, when the hockey season starts, a 4-day hockey podcast.
Oh, can't wait for that. Big hockey fans as well. Yeah, I mean...
In the Crease with Tommy Z, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday. It's coming back real soon, and we're getting it earlier because the World Cup starts in September. I can't wait the hockey to start.
Dude, these hockey players bust their ass, man. I don't understand when they actually are off. You know, it seems like they're always doing something. Kind of weird.
Yeah, well, we're getting World Cup this year, so we're going to have Team USA versus Canada versus Russia versus Czech Republic versus Sweden versus Finland. All the NHL guys have been going at it. The season starts in September this year, so you have to wait a little less. So about 30 days to go. Let's do it.
Do you got any early picks for us, man? I think the Lightning, we re-signed Stamkos, so I think we might be kind of primed for another run here, provided our goaltending holds up.
Oh, can I make a comment about the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Absolutely.
All right, here's the thing you have to worry about. Of course, you re-signed Stamkos, which I'm a little surprised with some of his behavior. I thought that he had a problem with Steve Yzerman. I was absolutely sure of it. He shocked me by signing them after putting putting the whole Tampa Bay organization through some sort of fucking heart attack phase. Over the last couple of months, the story wasn't about the Lightning season. The story is about whether Stamkos is staying or not. It was at one point I didn't think he was coming back. I was generally surprised that Yzerman was able to re-sign him.
Me too.
But the problem with Stamkos is you guys were in the Stanley Cup final 2 years ago. You beat my Rangers, but Stamkos is a franchise player. He's a transformational player. Has not been there in the playoffs. Not 2015. Yes, last year he was injured. It's not his fault. But I think a lot of your season you have a great family, maybe the best goalie in the league. You have great defenseman Anton Stralman. I had him on my team. I know how important he is. Great leadership in Ryan Callahan. You have the triplets. They're a powerful, offensively productive line. The guy who needs to stand up is the leader of the team, and that's Captain Stamkos. And he has to show that he is the big draft pick, the transformational guy that he appears to be, or that we were told he was. And I don't think that Tampa Bay, and I think they have a shot to win the Stanley Cup, goes to that next level until that happens. So I think Stamkos is I think he's got a lot to prove with this next contract going forward.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused as far as our goaltending situation because we have Bishop, who I feel like is the best goaltender in the league, but his contract's expiring, and we also we have.
I think that's next year. It's not this year.
But can we re-sign Bishop after re-signing Stamkos? That's where I'm confused. I was thinking they can only get one.
I thought Bishop's been signed, if I'm not mistaken. I may have meant it. I may have missed it, but I will check that out in a minute. I'm not sure. Contract. Ben Bishop, contract in Blake Downs, 29 years old, 6 years experience. He is signed through this year, but he's going to be unrestricted free agent at the end of this year.
Yeah, see, that's scary. I think he might be the starter for Team USA. He probably should be. That's going to be a competition.
He definitely just hope he doesn't get hurt and ruins your whole season.
Dude, 2 years in a row now. He's went down at the end of the year. It's really weird. But
it's a rough sport, and there's a lot of luck, and a lot of that luck is just staying healthy.
There is. It's a lot of streakiness too.
Look at Pittsburgh. They were horrible most of the season. They got it together. They got it hot. Crosby became Sidney Crosby again, and they won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So it's about getting hot at the right time, and having the experience of past deep playoff runs, past Stanley Cups to bring it through. And I think Tampa's it's getting close to now or never for them.
Yeah,
I do.
Stamkos.
Getting close to now or never. The next 2-3 seasons, they're going to have to put one away, and I think they can do it.
I think we can as well. We definitely have the parts. It's like you said, you need a little bit of luck. They've been there at the end past 2 years, failed to the Penguins last year to get into the Stanley Cup, but they'll probably be right back there this year. But thanks again, Tommy, man.
They're going to be in the mix. They're definitely going to be in the mix, but I think Stamkos has to be one of the best players in the league, or at least in the playoffs, the best players in the league during the playoffs to take them to that next level. That's what I believe.
I think he can do it. Last year we were struggling scoring. He's got to score.
He certainly has the talent. There's no doubt about it. But we haven't seen that invincible Steve Stamkos in the playoffs just yet.
Definitely cannot wait for hockey season. And one of the big reasons why I'm a fan of Tommy is because his work not only on Baited but on his channel there, Shot from the Point. It definitely reminds me a lot of the radio show that we have, the Trippy Show, and we'll be doing a lot of hockey coverage on that. So make sure you guys check that out as well. Thanks again, Tommy. Looking forward to talking to you again, and appreciate you guys joining up for the live stream. Make sure to show plenty of love to Tommy. Any last words?
Thank you very much. And just what you said, I really, you have a really nice channel here, and I'm very honored and generally grateful that you put me on to kind of sell Baited my own channel and talk about YouTube, because that's what I like doing. And hockey.
Me too. And there's still, like I said, plenty of topics that I wanted to get into that we did not touch on, so watch out for that. Catch you guys again next time. Have a great weekend. As always, I'm RJ for Tommy. Stay trippy, my friends.